This is not a travel guide. This is an autopsy report. The solar system already knows how you die. It just hasn't met you yet. 7 planets. 7 ways to die. Not 7 random ways, 7 very specific ways. Each one has a preferred method, a signature, something it does to every human body that enters its atmosphere. And here is what makes this strange. None of them are trying. The pressure that would crush you on Venus doesn't know you exist. The radiation that would dissolve your DNA on Mercury has been doing this for 4 billion years, before the first human drew breath. The solar system didn't set these traps for you. It set them for no one. You just happen to be the only thing in the known universe fragile enough to trigger all of them. This is the case file. 7 planets, 7 verdicts, all of them already written. Case file 001. Mercury. Cause of death? Indecision. Mercury can't make up its mind. During the day, 430 degrees Celsius. During the night, minus 180. The same rock, the same surface, a difference of 610 degrees, depending on which side of a line you're standing on. That line, the boundary between Mercury's day and night, is the only place on the planet where a human body could last more than a few minutes outside a ship. Scientists call it the Terminator Zone. The name is not ironic. Here's what makes Mercury different from every other planet on this list. It doesn't kill you with one thing. It kills you with whichever side you're on. Step into the daylight. The NASA suit you're wearing has a thermal limit of 121 degrees. Mercury's surface runs at 430. Your suit fails in minutes. What follows is not dramatic. It's just heat working through layers, the way heat always does. Step into the night. The same suit has a cold limit of minus 157. Mercury's night runs at minus 180. Hypothermia begins in the extremities, the fingers first. Then the sensation of cold stops feeling like cold and starts feeling like nothing. That's when it's serious. Mercury's day lasts roughly 1400 Earth hours. Its night the same. There's no in-between season. There's only the line, and the line moves. Mercury's signature, 2 options, both kill you. Case file 002, Venus. Cause of death? Patience. Venus is the closest planet to Earth, 40 million kilometers. A short journey, as these things go. And once you get there, Venus will take its time with you. Most planets on this list kill quickly. Venus is different. Venus has 92 times the atmospheric pressure of Earth. That's comparable to being 900 meters underwater. The pressure alone would begin deforming your suit within the first millisecond of surface contact. But here's what most people miss. The heat would arrive before the pressure kills you. 465 degrees Celsius at the surface. Hotter than most industrial furnaces. Hotter than the temperature at which lead melts. And the light. Only 10% of sunlight reaches Venus's surface. The rest is absorbed, scattered, reflected by a cloud layer made entirely of sulfuric acid. So this is what Venus actually looks like from the inside. Dim, orange-tinted, almost peaceful. Like an overcast afternoon, if the afternoon were ending you from every direction simultaneously. A well-engineered suit might give you a few seconds before the pressure wins. The Soviet Venera probes, the most successful spacecraft ever sent to Venus's surface, lasted between 23 minutes and 2 hours before being destroyed by the environment. They were made of metal and built specifically for this. You are not. Venus's signature. It offers you a view before it finishes. Case file 003. Mars. Cause of death? Hope. Mars is the only planet on this list that makes you think you might survive. The daytime temperature can reach 20 degrees Celsius. The surface has been walked by rovers for decades. There are plans, detailed, serious engineering plans, to put human beings on Mars within this generation. And yet, the atmosphere on Mars is 0.6% of Earth's pressure. One small breach in your suit, a micrometeorite, a valve failure, a seal that wasn't checked, and the pressure differential does something that has a specific medical name: embolism. Your blood contains dissolved gases. At Earth pressure, they stay dissolved. At Martian pressure, they don't. They boil. Not metaphorically, not approximately. The gases in your blood become bubbles within seconds of exposure. Your skin swells, your circulation collapses. You lose consciousness in about 15 seconds. You're dead in 7 minutes. And if your suit holds, if you avoid the pressure failure, Mars has dust storms, planet-wide, lasting months. Fine enough to penetrate suit seams, fine enough to scratch visors from the inside, fine enough to clog filtration systems that were working perfectly the morning before the storm arrived. Mars gives you the most runway of any rocky planet. It also has the most ways to use that runway against you. Mars's signature. It kills you with a thing you forgot to worry about. Case File 004. Jupiter. Cause of death? Descent. Jupiter has no surface. This is the first thing to understand. There's no ground, no place to land, to stand, to stop. You enter Jupiter's atmosphere, and you fall. The only question is what kills you on the way down. 300,000 kilometers from Jupiter, radiation begins penetrating standard suit materials. Assume for this exercise that your suit handles it. Because the radiation is the boring ending. Jupiter has better ones. Entry layer, upper atmosphere. Frozen ammonia clouds at -150 degrees. Winds at 480 kilometers per hour. Your descent capsule begins to destabilize. 150 kilometers down. This is how far the Galileo probe reached in 1995 before it was destroyed. That probe was purpose-built. It lasted 58 minutes. Beyond 150 kilometers, temperature and pressure begin climbing simultaneously. The hydrogen around you transitions from gas to something that isn't quite gas and isn't quite liquid. Supercritical fluid. You're no longer falling through air. You're falling through a substance that has no clean word in English. Deeper, the hydrogen becomes metallic. It conducts electricity. It's as dense as a solid. You stop falling, not because you land, but because the medium itself stops letting you move. At Jupiter's core, 24,000 degrees Celsius. Pressure at roughly 100 million times Earth's atmosphere. The instruments used to model this cannot model what happens to a human body here. The numbers stop meaning anything biological. Jupiter's signature. The fall is the death. There's no bottom. Case File 005. Saturn. Cause of death? Beauty. Saturn kills you on the approach. The rings, the thing that makes Saturn the most visually striking object in the solar system, are moving at 70,000 kilometers per hour. They're made of ice chunks ranging from dust to objects the size of buildings. Navigation through them requires calculations that take months to run. A miscalculation of meters ends the mission before it begins. Assume you thread the rings. You enter the atmosphere of a planet with winds at 1,800 kilometers per hour. A storm system at the North Pole large enough to contain 2 Earth-sized planets inside it. Ammonia clouds. Temperatures at the cloud tops reaching -250 degrees. Deeper, pressure climbs. Deeper still, the hydrogen liquefies. The core, a molten rock mass roughly 10 times the size of Earth, at 11,700 degrees Celsius. Saturn is the only planet where the thing that makes it worth visiting is also the first thing that kills you. You die looking at something beautiful. Most planets don't offer that. Saturn's signature. The rings are the warning. Almost no one reads it in time. Case file 006, Uranus. Cause of death? Transformation. Uranus is the coldest atmosphere in the solar system, minus 224 degrees Celsius, colder than Neptune despite being closer to the sun. The reasons aren't fully understood. Even the planet doesn't behave the way the models predict. The methane in Uranus's atmosphere is 2% of the total composition. That sounds small. It is not small for your lungs. The moment your suit fails, and on Uranus, your suit will fail, from cold, from corrosion, from particles moving at 900 kilometers per hour, 2% methane is enough. But Uranus has a more interesting ending available, if you survive long enough to reach it. 10,000 kilometers below the cloud tops, temperature and pressure reach a threshold where carbon atoms begin to crystallize. This is the process that produces diamond rain, confirmed by laboratory models, ongoing at depth, at scale, in permanent darkness. Roughly 18% of the human body is carbon. The conditions that produce diamonds down there would encounter your carbon the same way they encounter everything else. You wouldn't be buried on Uranus, you'd be incorporated. The process doesn't distinguish. Uranus's signature. It's the only planet that doesn't bury you, it incorporates you. Case file 007, Neptune. Cause of death, speed. Neptune has the fastest winds in the solar system, 2,100 kilometers per hour. That's supersonic. That's faster than the speed of sound on Earth. The winds on Neptune aren't a weather event. They're the permanent condition of the planet. There's no calm season, no eye of the storm. The storm is Neptune. A spacecraft entering Neptune's atmosphere would be subjected to vortices, rotating columns of atmospheric mass that throw objects in competing directions simultaneously. The G-forces compress the organs against the spine. Blood pools in the lower body. The brain deprioritizes non-essential functions. Consciousness ends in about 15 seconds. Structural failure of the vehicle and the body follows within 5 minutes. Neptune is 4.4 billion kilometers from Earth. A one-way trip takes roughly 12 years with current propulsion technology. The fastest spacecraft ever launched would not arrive faster. You would travel 12 years to spend 5 minutes becoming part of the atmosphere. Neptune doesn't give you time to feel anything about that. Neptune's signature. It ends things before you can form an opinion about them. 7 planets, 7 methods. None of them designed for you, all of them precise. The solar system isn't hostile. Hostility requires intent. What the solar system is indifferent. And indifference at planetary scale is far more thorough than any enemy you've ever had. Earth isn't safe because the universe is kind. Earth is safe because, by accident, the pressure is right, the temperature is right. The distance from the sun falls within a margin of error so narrow that the odds of it being this way by pure chance are the kind of number that doesn't fit inside a human intuition. You didn't survive the solar system. You just haven't left yet. Which planet sentenced you? Comment your cause of death below.